Okay, so now after, okay, after, just let you know, after the press conference, we will take your minute after it live. So I will change the mic back, okay? And she's ready next to the camera. No, no, we can do it from zero. If you would like to test it now, we can test it because I connect
But then I do
like
like yesterday our studio was and I set up I shot this too. So that's the one day. You do the lighting. Exactly. From did you know? You know, like so that we can get the grades on the wheel. Yeah, yes.
you have a problem, you can use my phone when you need after the press conference to give me a call.
Yeah,
Thank you everyone.
this is the white room.
I'm gonna stay along here, I'll take a few snaps of it, straight in the front, and then I'm moving around.
They've done all this.
Oh, okay, it's just to be in front for.
Let me double check the phone number. Is this the one? Because if that's the okay. And you mapped out a
No, I don't understand. Yeah, this is usually
Is the output below unity, because that's where it just.
Okay, for all you folks recording, this is your test you're gonna get. Check it. Okay. 1 2, hey, check, 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 check. I'm gonna go through all three mics. 1 2, hey, check. Check, 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 check. Can I get some thumbs up back there or something? Okay, I see 1 2 3. One guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Mic. Okay. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check check. Can I get some thumbs up back there or something? I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check check. Can I get some thumbs up back here or something? I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check check. Can I get some thumbs up back here or something? I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 thumbs up back here or something? I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check check. Can I get some thumbs up back here or something? I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check check. Can I get some thumbs up back here or something? I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check check. Can I get some thumbs up back here or something? I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Guy's still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're still back there, thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Still in his phone. Okay, great. Okay. 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, check 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 check. This is another mic. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that really hot? 1 2. Hey, check check. Derek, bring that down a little bit for me, please. If you're Still back there. Thank you very much, Derek. 1 2 1 2. Hey, check, 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 check,
Thumbs up
check,
back
check.
here or something?
I see thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Still in
In his phone.
Okay, great.
Okay, 1 2. Thank you, folks. 1 2 1 2.
Good morning. Thank you very much for coming today. We are very grateful and privileged to have with us the Honorable Robert Ciuglani, also known as Bobi Wine, who, after a horrific attack by the armed forces of Thank you very much for coming today on him and on his entourage. We are very grateful, which involved the assassination to have of his driver and close friend, the Honorable Robert Ciuglani, who was sitting in the seat also known as Bobi that Wine, he had occupied just moments before. A horrific Bobi. Good morning, amazingly here with us. Thank you very much for coming today on him and on his entourage. In your remarks, we are very grateful involved the assassination to have of his driver and close friend, the Honorable Robert Ciuglani, who was sitting in the seat known as Bobi that he had occupied.
Here, and most importantly, I'm glad to still be alive. I'm here against the advice of my doctors and my family, but I thought it's more important to be here, especially on behalf of my fellow Ugandans, particularly those in Chad on the east and those that still go through the repression. It should be noted that I'm not presenting myself as a victim, because I'm nobody's victim. I'm a survivor, and I would rather represent resilience rather than giving up. I was brutally tortured by some armed soldiers from the SFC, beaten, brutalized, and abused, and later locked up in the military barracks. Charges were later dropped, and I was taken to a civil prison, and finally I was bailed up. I'm here for specialized treatment, which I'm still undergoing. I am humbled to see that my brutalization has attracted the attention of my countrymen and women, and indeed the world over. But still I'm challenged, because many other Ugandans go through the same or even worse brutalities. For example, when I was in prison, there's this guy that cannot go off my mind, whose back was broken. There's a lady who had just had a baby through a C-section, who was beaten so bad that by the time we were released, she was still passing blood. There's another lady called Sauda, who I don't know if she will survive. All these people and many others, I'm sad that the world might never know them. So the opportunity that I get, I always want to raise my voice to speak for them, because I'm lucky that maybe the world knows me but may never know such people, and I want to use every ability in my voice to speak out for them That's why I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I'm also here to symbolize the resilience of Ugandans, to tell them that we still stand for justice, equality, freedom, and dignity for everybody. We represent the power of the people. Ugandans have always been wanting freedom. They've always been wanting to be the masters of their destiny. They've always wanted to live in a country where leaders are servants and the people are the true masters. And that is what we still advocate for. We advocate for people power, which indeed is our power. And to assert that no amount of brutality, no amount of repression is going to cow us down. We swore to ourselves that we shall insist on the fight for freedom. I'm here for treatment, and as soon as my treatment is done, I am going back home, because Uganda is my home. Uganda is our home. We have never had and will never have another home, and it's upon us to create a home that is good for us, for our children, and our children's children. I thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Briefly, while Bobby is receiving treatment here, we will be meeting with congressmen, congresswomen, members of various departments, the State Department included, and we will be providing them with details of what has been happening in Uganda, the brutality, the truly criminal activity and violations of human rights that are occurring daily. And we want the American taxpayer to know that the American taxpayer is funding this. The military equipment we are supplying to Uganda is being used in a war of terror against Uganda's citizens. This is not an isolated incident. Uganda has a storied history of political violence, an ongoing history that the West has largely ignored. We cannot ignore it any longer. We cannot ignore Africa any longer. Within the last few weeks, the German chancellor was touring Africa, thank God. The Chinese have invited heads of state from all over Africa to Beijing. It is time for America's voice to be heard, and heard loudly, in terms of looking at, the Leahy Act. The fact is, American arms and American equipment have been used to torture Ugandans. We call on the U.S. government to immediately suspend military funding to Uganda, launch an investigation immediately into the use of U.S. equipment to torture Ugandan citizens. We are compiling a list under the Magnitsky Act. Ugandan torturers, beware. Your ability to travel, your ability to hold assets abroad may well be put at risk by your continuing to participate in a special squad of torturers set up specifically by the Ugandan army to engage in this brutality, using American military equipment. We have absolutely made the determination that we are going to conduct an investigation into the deaths of other opponents of this regime. Suspicious poisonings, car accidents. There is a long list of tragic activities which involve those who dare to speak out in Uganda. It is incredibly important to those who work with Bobi Wine to try to ensure his safety on his return to Uganda. We are here against medical advice because we know that whatever medical treatment he receives here will be negated by the treatment he receives there if they continue the ongoing brutality. We have to find a way to stop it. We have to find a way to derail the Museveni's regime's descent into terror and torture against their own people. Now, a lot of comments have been made with people saying, well, because he's got an international lawyer, somehow there's some foreign agent involved. There ain't no foreign agent involved. There is, however, something to note, and that is that the Museveni regime is a foreign agent of the American military with respect to its activities in Sudan and Somalia. And therefore, it is Washington that has the ultimate control over what's going on in Uganda today. And that is why, despite the torture, and let me assure you that not only has he been in hospital and undergoing treatment, but I have been with him at the most recent examination. And we are constantly seeing from the Ugandan authorities a sort of torture double act. First they brutalize you, treatment, but I have been with him at the most recent examination. They give you the false news
treatment,
constantly seeing from the Ugandan
where they want
authorities
you to
embarrass
a sort of
yourself
torture
and your
double
family
act.
and suffer the indignity
First they brutalize
of putting your body on
but
display.
I have been
so you
with
can
him
demonstrate
at
just
the
how
most
vicious
recent
they are. And then we're not doing.
They
And
give you the false.
We are
constantly
accumulating
seeing
the
from
medical
where they
evidence
want you to
authorities
take it to
embarrass
a sort of
yourself,
torture
double
double
act,
act
and suffer the
justice.
indignity
First they
of
brutalize
putting your
and
body
that is
on
what
display.
we have
So
been
you
with
can
him
demonstrate
exactly
how
why
and then
we are here.
we're not doing. And
they
we
give
are
you the
here
false
to put
news,
our
accumulating
Ugandan
the
authorities
medical evidence
on
authorities
notice
to embarrass
that when
yourself,
Mr. Wine returns to
and suffer the
Uganda
First they
to
brutalize
face
and
these
that is what
charges
we
of
have been
treason,
with him
that is
demonstrate
exactly
just
is
how
why
going back
we are
we're
here.
not doing.
And
And
I can't talk
we
about
are
Ugandan
accumulating the
authorities
medical evidence
on
authorities
notice.
to
It is
embarrass
inappropriate when
yourself.
Mr. Wine returns to Uganda
First they
to
brutalize
face
and
these
that is
charges
what
of
they have been
treason.
with him
This is the
demonstrate.
third set of charges. First, they charged him with respect to the motorcade. That was dropped. Then they said that he had an arms cache. But when the people in the hotel said the police planted the arms, they dropped those charges. So this is the third try.
Exactly why
We're not doing.
about
And
the
I can't talk about
Ugandan
Ugandan
authorities.
authorities because of my history in Africa, but because of my history
And
on
on
notice.
to
It is
embarrass
inappropriate when
yourself.
Mr. Wine
Representative
returns to
Justice.
Uganda.
Justice.
I've been involved in Russian cases on and off for many years. And the Museveni regime is taking a page from Mr. Putin's book. They torture you, they poison you, they poison people in England, and then they embarrass in Russian cases. And we're not going to play that on and off for many years. The Ugandan Museveni regime is taking a page from Mr. Putin's book. Africa's youth they poison you better. They poison people in England, and then they embarrass victims of Russian cases. And we're not going to play that on and off for many years. Thank you very much. The Museveni regime is taking a page from Mr. Putin's book. I think Africa's youth they poison you better. They poison people in England, and then they embarrass victims of Russian cases. We're not going to play that on and off for many years. Thank you very much. The Museveni regime deserves
the military detention that I saw how much people stood with us, not just in Uganda, but from Kenya to South Africa, from Rwanda to Nigeria. People stood with us. I must give special respect to the people that paid the price. Yasin Kauma. Excuse me.
Hi, I'm Michelle Kellerman with National Public Radio. I wonder if you're worried at all that you talk about going home, but if you're worried at all that you may get stuck here, that they may not let you come back home. And if you could talk a little bit about the contacts to date or the response of the U.S. government to date, whether you're satisfied at all with what they've been telling you. And if you don't mind moving the microphone a little bit more in front of you so we can hear. Thank you.
I must go back home. Uganda is my home. I don't have another home. I'm Ugandan. And I'm going back home. Yeah.
And we're not going to comment yet. It's too early to comment on any American response. I want to say, obviously, we're grateful that Bobi is here. And, you know, thank God that he is here and that he can get the kind of highly specialized help that we've been able to obtain. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Paul, you have Voice of America. Two questions. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Paul, in the whole Voice of America, two questions for you. First of all, Honorable Chagranyi, good to see you. Maybe comment about your health situation right now. How are you feeling? What have the doctors said, and for how long are you going to undertake the treatment? Secondly, can you also respond to some criticism that is coming from the Ugandan government in regard to the statement that you issued earlier, talking about how you're tortured? The government has come out and said that they did not torture you. Can you respond to that kind of criticism? Thank you.
Well, it is a habit for the Ugandan authorities to torture people and then outrightly come out and lie. Like I said, I'm not the first person to be tortured. We've seen people that have been brutalized even worse than I have been. You've seen the Muslim clerics that have been tortured. We've seen women that have been tortured. Even right now, we have people that are rotting in hospitals out of torture. And like I said, it's a privilege for me to be able to even access specialized treatment. And the least I can do is to speak out for those hundreds, if not thousands, of people that have been brutalized. I cannot continuously, like Bob said, subject myself to indignities. I cannot undress myself, but just a little that you can see of my body is probably signal to the torture that I went through and the torture that I believe people are still going through. And also to mention, just I was on the way here, I got information. My wife is running a charity organization called Helping Hand Uganda, and it is helping girls to make reusable sanitary pads. But her co-founder was kidnapped and tortured so badly for 2 days, and he was being forced to agree with the security forces that he will be a key witness to pin me, that and to confess that I'm being funded through my wife's NGO. That is the least that we see, but this is ongoing with many people. Yeah.
How about your health?
All I know is I'm still alive as of now.
What happened to the hand?
This and more, my skin keeps peeling. This blister that I received. All I know is I'm still alive. Peeling. I got injections that I don't know about, and I spent quite a long time on cuffs, shackled both hands and legs, and my hands swelled. This and more, my skin keeps peeling. This blister that I received. All I know is I'm still alive. Peeling. I got
Thank you.
injections
Rosalind Jordan
that
with
I
Al
don't know
Jazeera
about,
English.
and I spent quite
Mr.
a long
Wine,
time.
There have been reports suggesting that the government
shackled
is
both hands and
hoping
legs,
that
and my
any oil
arm,
deals it
hands
makes
were
with the
more
Chinese government could
skin
somehow buy it more credibility with young people, that it could lead
into
to more
spinning
jobs
this
for young
blister
people.
that I
Do you
received.
believe that the Museveni
all I
government
know
is
is I'm
acting
still
in the best interest of Ugandan youth?
alive,
And
feeling
if not, why
I
not?
got
Thank you.
injections
Rosalind Jordan
that
with
I
Al
don't know
Jazeera
about,
English.
and I spent quite
Mr.
a long
Wine,
time.
there have been reports
Uganda is a
suggesting that the
population
government is
that is
hoping
over
that any
80%
oil deals
under
it makes with the
35.
Chinese
That's over
government could
80%
somehow
younger than
buy
me.
it more credibility
And
with
still
young
it
people, that it
boasts
could lead
of
to more jobs for
over
young
80%
people.
unemployment
Do you
for young
believe that the
people.
Museveni
All I
government
know
is
is I'm
acting
still,
in the best
like
interest
many other
of
people,
Ugandan youth? And
all we
if
desire,
not, why
we
not?
desire
Thank you.
is to
Rosalind
have a
Jordan
say
with Al
in our
Jazeera
country.
English.
It is
Mr.
not
Wine,
about Museveni.
there have been
And
reports
Uganda is about
suggesting that
me.
the
Population
government is
is about that is
hoping
over
that any
80%
oil deals it
under
makes with the
35.
Chinese
That's desire
government could
is to
somehow
see that the
buy it
people
more
of Uganda
credibility
and
with
the
young
masters
people,
both
that
their
it
own
could lead
destiny
to more jobs for
over
young
80%
people.
unemployment
Do you
for young
believe that the
people.
Museveni
All
government
I know
is
is I'm
acting
still,
in the best interest
like many other
of
people,
Ugandan youth? And
all we
if
desire,
not, why
we
not?
desire
Thank you.
is to
Rosalind
have a
Jordan
say
with Al
in our
Jazeera
country.
English.
It is
Mr.
not
Wine,
about Museveni.
there have been
And
reports
Uganda is
suggesting
about
that
me.
the
Population
government is
is about that is
hoping
over
that any
80%
oil deals
under
it makes with the
35. That's
Chinese
desire
government could
is to
somehow
see that the
buy it
people
more
of Uganda
credibility
and
with
the
young
masters
people,
both
that
their
it
own
could lead
destiny
to more jobs for
over
young people.
80% unemployment
Do you
for young
believe that the
people.
Museveni
All I
government
know
is
is I'm
acting
still,
in the best
like
interest
many other
of
people,
Ugandan youth? And
all we
if
desire,
not, why
we
not?
desire
Thank you.
is to
Rosalind
have a
Jordan
say
with Al
in our
Jazeera
country.
English.
It is
Mr.
not
Wine,
about Museveni.
there have been
And
reports
Uganda is
suggesting
about
that
me.
the
Population
government is
is about that is
hoping
over
that any
80%
oil deals it
under
makes with the
35.
Chinese
That's desire
government could
is
somehow
to see that the
buy it
people
more
of Uganda
credibility
and
with
the
young
masters
people,
both
that
their
it
own
could
destiny
lead to more jobs for
over
young
80%
people.
unemployment.
Do you
Together we
believe
are
that the Museveni
all I
government
know
is
is I'm
acting
still,
in the best
and like
interest
many other
of
people,
Ugandan youth? And
all we
if
desire
not,
will be put on the table.
why
We
not?
desire
Thank you.
is to have a say in
Rosalind
our
Jordan.
country. International investors in Uganda have obligations under It's
Mr.
not
Wine,
about
there
Museveni.
have
And
been
as
reports
Equator principles, corporate human rights principles, we intend to contact major investors in Uganda to copy them in respect to the torture issues, to highlight the lack of proper governance in Uganda, to highlight the militarization that is going on there in terms of popular behavior and of the government, and to ask them to intervene. It is now, frankly, a duty of these multinationals that attend all these conferences and spend a lot of money on all these nice CSR documents to step up. We have a critical situation in an absolutely critical country in Africa, and now those people who invest in Tullow and other conferences and activities in Uganda, like the key banks, they're all going to be contacted, and we're going to put our pedal to the metal in terms of making sure that investors understand that while individuals don't have access to rule of law, that is an issue that impacts their investment. And while we're not today in any way seeking disinvestment from Uganda, what we're seeking is responsible investment in Uganda.
Including from the Chinese and Russians?
Listen, frankly, one of the things that's important for the Chinese to understand, as I think they are starting to, now that Malaysia has rejected two of their newest projects, is that there is, even for China, a balance. And yes, I think given the massive presence of China in Africa, there is no country that should not be made aware of what is going on. But it is, as I said, sadly, it is U.S. weaponry. So we have to deal first at home. It is U.S. weaponry, and it is $500 million of U.S. taxpayer money that's going to these arms that are being used against Uganda's own people.
U.S. churches that are involved in Uganda?
Absolutely another area that we intend to touch on. But I think, people need to understand that what happened as a result of Arua is only beginning to be digested. We have people in intense pain. We have a government that is, in fact, reeling from being found out. And I think it's incredibly important to recognize that this vicious brutality against the 33 in Arua is not a new development. What's new is that because of Mr. Wine's notoriety, it's come to all of our attention. That's really what's new. And when you see what's happening in Ethiopia and you see what's happening in South Africa, there is a new wind blowing in Africa, and the Ugandan government has to get back to basic principles, and they have to disband the torture cell, and they have to bring those people to justice. Thank you very much. Okay, one more.
My name is Samuel. Question is, what do you make of the treason charges that have been put against you? And secondly, do you consider yourself to be an opposition leader who would run for president during the next election?
Excuse me. We've been asked by our Ugandan counsel not to have Bobi speak on the issue of treason. I have to respect him, and we've got to stay away from that.
Sure, I will not talk about the treason charges because it's sub judice. But again, I want you to know that it's not about me. This is not about Bobi Wine. I'm just one of the more than 40 million Ugandans that want freedom, that want justice, and they want dignity. So this is not about me. It's about that young lady out there who works every day to feed her little child. It's about the young men and women who are educated but cannot find a job. It's about the religious leaders in their interreligious council who every day want change and seek for peaceful transition. It's about the elders that are continuously embarrassed by the ongoings in the country. It's about all of us. And that's why we say it is people power. It's not about Bobi Wine. It's about the people of Uganda.
Sorry.
Thank you. Bobi Wine, thank you for being here. Malika Bilal from The Stream on Al Jazeera English. What will justice look like for you and for your wife, Barbie? What does that look like?
Justice is, one, the leaders being answerable to the people, people being the true masters of their destiny. Justice is having everybody equal before and under the law. That is justice for me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. My name is Ni Akwete. I'm not a journalist, but I'm an activist, and I'm Africa-born. And I have worked to see the U.S. support democracy across Africa for 40 years. And so I'm happy to see you here and getting good medical advice and good legal advice. But my question is, what do you want the U.S. activists and people who push for democracy in this country, what would you like them to do so that they can get the U.S. supporting democratic processes in Africa rather than dictators? What do you want us to do?
I'll be brief. I want you to stand with the oppressed, not the oppressor.
Thank you so much. My name is Biggs, Aloysius Bigiro. My question is, it has become tradition for the African leaders
What do you want us to do?
come to the West for specialized treatment. Those in power and of course, those who are not in power as of yet. So, my brother and friend, Bobi Wine, if you were to be lucky to become a leader of Uganda, or as a member of parliament even right now, how do you hope to change this trend? Because while the leaders are able to get those specialized treatment, not everybody is lucky to get the same treatment. So what's your take on that?
Like I said, I'm lucky and humbled. One, that my brutality is seen by the whole world, and that I have the opportunity to come for specialized treatment. I've never left my country for treatment, but because of the distrust of our institutions, for example, I was brutalized. The second time I was arrested from the airport, I was brutalized in front of a government doctor. And because of what was injected in me, myself and my family was scared that our medical institutions did not have the ability to find out what exactly was in me. I was referred. And yes, because I was treated from Rubaga Hospital, which I really, really recommend. The doctors were highly professional. But after treating me of the wounds that they could treat me, of the bruises that they could treat of, they had to refer me because my back had more complications. I had to get more specialized treatment in the United States. But my hope and prayer is that together as the people of Uganda will make our home well, we will make our hospitals well on the standard that we don't have to leave our home for medical treatment, because this is just me, but thousands upon thousands of Ugandans need good health care, and they cannot afford to leave their country. And indeed, they should not be leaving their country to be treated elsewhere. This has ever been there. We've ever had good hospitals. We indeed can have good hospitals if our leaders serve for the benefit of their people.
But I think it needs to be brought out, and I think the Ugandan government has been unfair in this. Bobi's torture, the two more sessions, doctors were in their presence, and I think at the time that you were removed from the airport, there was actually a doctor in the ambulance witnessing another brutal beating. And in fact, they unscrewed the light bulb so journalists couldn't see them beating Bobi in the ambulance. So when you lose respect and the ability to believe that the doctors are actually going to be looking after you, and now we've seen today that there's been some report released that Bobi was fine. Well, the Ugandans can try this kind of bogus trick. But my message to the Ugandans is, we have him in specialized care. We have details and documented analysis and treatment going on. There is not going to be any doubt about what happened. But what we're going to do is use that information with the authorities in the United States, with the authorities at the United Nations, and attempt to seek retribution. This is a fight that is much more than a political fight in terms of media. This is a fight to actually change the methodologies used by the Ugandan government to torture their people. The goal is that Ugandans will have the rights that their government signed them up to under the International Covenant for Civil and Political Rights. What happened in Arua was that there was a by-election, and the government and the army were very unhappy that they lost. And rather than determine to make Uganda better, they determined actually to assassinate Bobi. Because the torture is a side play. They wanted to kill him, and that's why his driver was murdered in exactly the position they expected Bobi to be in. So this bunk from the government, nobody believes. Because this is a government that is afraid to actually compete in Uganda for the votes of its people because they have no policies. They don't want to debate policies. What they want to do is intimidate and break the opposition. And Bobi's goal and that of many other Ugandans is to make sure that doesn't happen. So again, thank you very much.
Very briefly, can you say a few words in Swahili and Uganda for our international audience?
Can I speak in Luganda, please?
Sure.
Eri bannayuganda mwenna nkyali mulamu, nvuddeyo okujja okwogera nammwe newankubadde abasawo bange ne famire yange badde tebaagala njogere kuba mbadde nkyali mu bujjanjabi, nenza okwogera gye muli kuba nafuna omukisa okunyigirizibwa kwange newankubadde bantu bangi nnyo banyigirizibwa abali obaolyawo n'okusinga nze. Njagadde mbere eddoboozi eri mmwe n'okwogera ebigenda maaso mu ggwanga lyaffe okumakinga sure nti kino ekyantuuseeko tekiddamu kutuuka ku muntu mulala yenna yenna. Nkyali mugumu, musigale nga muli bagumu, musigale nga mwagala ensi yammwe, nga mukkiririza mu nsi yammwe era nga mukkiririza mu nkyukakyuka, nga buli omu agamba munne nti people power, our power. That was brief, right?
I agree with everything he said.